Whether it's Patrick Ewing playing for the Supersonics in one of the worst seasons of his career, or Scottie Pippen's weird season with the Houston Rockets where he openly said he wouldn't apologize even if he had a gun pointed at him, today, Fadeaway brings you 10 NBA stars you forgot play for that one team. Now let's start with one of the most loyal and dedicated centers in NBA history, an 11-time All-Star, a Rookie of the Year, All-NBA First Team, and a member of the 75th anniversary team, Patrick Ewing. Ewing spent 15 seasons as the face of the New York Knicks, carrying the team on his back through the 80s and 90s. But what many people forget is that after his Knicks tenure, he had brief stints with two other teams, the Seattle Supersonics and the Orlando Magic. In 2000, the Knicks traded Ewing to Seattle, and he played one season with the Sonics, averaging just 9.6 points per game. After that, he went to the Orlando Magic for his final season in 2001, where he averaged a career-worst 6 points per game before announcing his retirement at the end of the season. Seeing Ewing in anything other than a Knicks jersey is strange to say the least. Now here's a big one. Michael Jordan is universally known as a Chicago Bulls legend. He led the Bulls to 6 NBA championships and is widely considered the greatest of all time. So you'd think his career would have ended right there, right? Well, not exactly. In 2001, Jordan shocked the world by coming out of retirement to join the Washington Wizards. At 38, MJ still had that competitive fire. Jordan led the team in scoring at 22.9 points per game, 5.2 assists per game, and almost 2 steals per game, and was an MVP candidate, as he led the Wizards to a winning record and playoff contention. Jordan would eventually finish 13th in the MVP vote after he suffered a torn meniscus in his right knee and subsequent knee soreness. The Wizards missed the playoffs, and Jordan's season ended after only 60 games, the fewest he had played in a regular season since playing 17 games after returning from his first retirement during the 1994-95 season. The following season, Jordan started 53 of 60 games for the season, averaging 24 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds per game, and shooting 41% from the field in his 53 starts. His last 7 appearances were in a reserve role, in which he averaged just over 20 minutes per game. The Wizards finished the season with a 37-45 record, and Jordan officially retired for good after that season. Vince Carter is known for his Vinsanity days with the Toronto Raptors and later spent significant time with the Nets, Mavericks, and Hawks. But in between, he had a brief stint with the Phoenix Suns. In the 2010-2011 season, Vince Carter recorded 29 points and 12 rebounds in a win over the New York Knicks as he reached 20,000 career points during that game, with the Phoenix Suns becoming the 37th NBA player to reach quite the milestone. Following the conclusion of the NBA lockout, Vince Carter was waived by the Suns, meaning the team only had to pay him $4 million of the $18 million he was due for the 2011-2012 season. Vince Carter appeared in 51 games with 41 starts, averaging 13.5 points while shooting 42% from the field. At that point, Carter's high-flying days were well behind him, and he served more as a veteran presence. Still, it's surprising to look back and see him wearing a Phoenix Suns jersey. In the middle of the 2002-2003 season, at the trade deadline, Gary Payton was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks along with Desmond Mason in exchange for Ray Allen, Kevin Ollie, and Ronald Murray and a 2003 first-round pick. Payton played the remaining 28 games with the Bucks, averaging 19.6 points and 7.4 assists per game. The Bucks faced the defending Eastern Conference champion New Jersey Nets in the first round of the playoffs, pushing the Nets to 6 games before losing to the more experienced and well-rounded Nets. Payton led the Bucks in scoring at 18.5 points and 8.7 assists during the series, which included a 20.14 assist performance in a Game 4 Milwaukee win. You might have totally blanked on this. Chauncey Billups as a Toronto Raptor? Yeah. Long before he became Mr. Big Shot with the Pistons, Billups was actually drafted by the Boston Celtics, then traded to the Raptors in his rookie season. It was brief, and he would bounce around a bit more before eventually finding his rhythm with Detroit. But yes, Chauncey Billups at one point was a Toronto Raptor. Tony Parker joined the Hornets in July 2018, marking a significant transition. After 17 seasons with the Spurs, his move was part of the Hornets' effort to revitalize their backcourt and mentor the younger players. In his first and only season with the Hornets, Parker played a crucial role as a backup point guard. He averaged 9.5 points, 3.7 assists, and 2.6 rebounds per game, showcasing his ability to contribute effectively off the bench. Parker's veteran presence was invaluable, particularly guiding younger players like Kemba Walker and Devontae Graham. His experience and winning mentality helped elevate the team's competitiveness. But after just one season with the Hornets, Parker announced his retirement from professional basketball in June 2019, bringing an end to a storied 18-year career in the NBA. While his time in Charlotte was relatively short, Parker left a positive impact on the franchise and contributed to the development of its younger players. Jason Kidd had a brief but impactful career with the New York Knicks, playing for the team during the 2012-2013 NBA season. Kidd was signed by the Knicks after a successful tenure with the Dallas Mavericks, where he played a pivotal role in their 2011 NBA championship. During his time with the Knicks, Kidd served as a veteran point guard, providing leadership and experience to a Knicks team looking to compete in the Eastern Conference. He averaged about 6 points, 5.3 assists, and 4.3 rebounds per game. Although his scoring was modest, his playmaking and defensive skills were invaluable. Kidd was also a key contributor from beyond the arc, shooting 37.3% on three-pointers during the season. His ability to stretch the floor was critical for the Knicks' offense. Under Kidd's leadership, the Knicks had a successful regular season, finishing with a 54-28 record, which earned them the second seed in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks faced the Boston Celtics in the first round of the playoffs, and Kidd's experience was vital, but the team ultimately lost in 6 games, ending their postseason run early. After the season, Kidd announced his retirement from professional basketball in June of 2013, transitioning into coaching, which would eventually lead him to becoming a head coach in the NBA, where he currently coaches the Mavericks, who went to the NBA Finals just last season. Scottie Pippen is another name synonymous with the Chicago Bulls, where he won 6 NBA championships alongside Michael Jordan. But when the dynasty broke up, Pippen played a single season with the Houston Rockets in 1998, joining Hakeem Olajuwon and Charles Barkley in a star-studded but ultimately disappointing lineup. The on-court chemistry problems emerged very quickly, especially between Pippen and Barkley. Following the season's end and the Rockets' early exit from the playoffs by the Los Angeles Lakers, Pippen expressed a desire to be traded. Charles Barkley openly criticized Pippen, saying that for him to want to leave after 1 year, it disappointed me greatly. The Rockets went out their way to get Scottie, and the fans treated him well, so I was just disappointed in him. Sir Charles also went on record saying that Pippen needed to apologize for betraying the team with his subpar play against the Los Angeles Lakers. Pippen responded by saying, "I wouldn't give Charles Barkley an apology at gunpoint. He can never expect an apology from me. If anything, he owes me an apology for coming to play with his fat butt." He stated that the main reason for his departure was Barkley's selfishness and his lack of desire to win. He also expressed he wished to play for his former coach, Phil Jackson, who was coaching the Los Angeles Lakers at the time. Pippen said one of the reasons he wanted to play for Jackson is that he wanted to return to the system which they won 6 NBA titles together. Ultimately, he was traded to the Portland Trail Blazers, where he played a few more seasons before retiring in 2004 with the Chicago Bulls. On March 20th, 2012, the Memphis Grizzlies signed Gilbert Arenas. His primary role was a backup point guard, but this time to Mike Conley. The Grizzlies finished 41-25 and clinched the 4th seed in the Western Conference. However, they lost in the first round to the Los Angeles Clippers in a full 7-game series. Arenas' final NBA game was played in Game 7 of the 2012 Western Conference first round, with Arenas only playing 3 minutes and recording no stats. Arenas was only 30 years old in his final NBA game. On July 11, 2012, the Los Angeles Lakers signed Steve Nash in a sign-and-trade deal with the Phoenix Suns. Nash switched his jersey from his customary number 13, which was obviously retired in honor of Wilt Chamberlain, and Nash decided to don number 10. Entering his 17th NBA season, Nash came to the Lakers with concerns over his defense and the health of his back. In the second game of the 2012-2013 season, Steve Nash suffered a non-displaced fracture in his left leg after a collision with Damian Lillard. He was expected to miss about 1 week, but was out of the lineup for close to 7 weeks. He was reunited with Mike D'Antoni, who took over the Lakers coaching job after Mike Brown was fired after a 1-4 start. On December 22nd, Nash returned against the Golden State Warriors, helping the Lakers win their first overtime game of the season, scoring 12 points with 9 assists and 41 minutes of play. The Lakers won 3 of the first 4 games after Nash returned. However, they lost the next 4, including a 125-112 loss to the Houston Rockets. On January 8, 2013, Nash recorded his 10,000th career assist, a milestone that very few have been able to reach. Kobe Bryant was eventually moved to defend the opponent's primary ball handler, freeing Nash up for favorable matchups. But Nash struggled with Dwight Howard to run the pick and roll, a play that D'Antoni had expected would be a staple for the Lakers. D'Antoni then moved Nash off the ball and made him more of a spot-up, which was not his game at all. While Bryant became the primary facilitator on offense, Nash missed the last 8 games of the season with a right hip injury that also caused nerve damage in his right hamstring. The team qualified for the playoffs as a 7 seed, but were swept by the San Antonio Spurs in the first round. In what Nash called arguably the most frustrating season of his career, Nash missed a career-high 32 games in the regular season and averaged his fewest assists at 6.7 since the 1999-2000 season, where he was a part-time starter with the Dallas Mavericks. So what's the takeaway here though? Even the biggest legends sometimes end up in places that feel a little out of sync. With their iconic moments, these stints add a unique twist to their legacies and reminds us that NBA careers can take an unpredictable turn. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.